You know, initially when I reached 19,000 subscribers, I thought to myself, let's make a thank you video. Let's make a thank you video where I just sit down and appreciate my audience for like a minute for all of the support they've given me over the years. But then I realized that shit is fucking boring. Nobody likes that. Maybe there's a few people like, oh yay, swag, like if I made that, but the vast majority of people would be like, I've seen that, who gives a shit, that's predictable, it's banal, it's boring, it's every fucking thing that is wrong with mainstream media today. So I thought to myself, let's make a collaboration. Let's make a collaborative project between me and two other well-known YouTubers and modders in the community. So joining me today is Nathan from the YouTube channel The Nathan NS and a boss from the YouTube channel The Boss 54320. Nathan is mainly known for his YouTube videos and beta research and kinda dabbing in modding, and the boss is more known for his mods, such as, but not limited to, Supermod, Insanity Edition, and The Cure. So without any further ado, let's celebrate this subscriber milestone by getting into some good old removed beta content, shall we? With that said, I bring you 9 things that were cut from Bully. Bully was initially set to be a much bigger game with tons of juicy content that will later down the road of development end up getting either modified, censored, removed, or just unused entirely, some of which we'll be going through today in this video. The first of which being number 1. Nerd Battle Wagon. Somewhere during the very early planning stages, or possibly development stages of Bully, there were actually plans to feature a large reinforced battle wagon that the nerds would utilize during the mission Defender of the Castle. The only trace left of this battle wagon is the image of some concept art by Andrew Wood, who worked on mainly the environment art for the original Bully, as well as for the 2008 port titled Bully Scholarship Edition. The image features a brief description of the battle wagon, and it reads as follows. Nerd Battle Wagon was supposed to be used for the nerds to fight off a jock invasion. In the end, it was cut from the game. It would actually later be revealed by Andrew Wood himself that the reason why the battle wagon was cut from the game in the first place was not only because of the PS2 limitations at the time, but also because of the unstable performance that the game engine would have had. Not much else is really known about the mysterious Nerd Battle Wagon. It is possible that Rockstar initially had plans on having Jimmy actually climb into the thing and mow down jocks with it, but it is possible that this entire section of the mission was replaced with the spud cannon sequence where Jimmy stands completely stationary and picks off targets from a distance. Number 2. School Hairdresser.
If you were to enter the world image file in your Bully directory, which contains most of the in-game models, you'll eventually come across several pieces of clothing. Most of the clothing in the game is prefixed with a beginning letter or two. For example, P_ is for the poor clothing, which can be found in the final cut in New Coventry. The R_ clothing, meaning rich, which can be found in Aquaberry in the Old Bournemouth Vale, and the S_, meaning the clothing that could be obtained in Bournemouth Academy. In the world image, there are quite a few unused hairstyles that begin with S_. Now, one feature that was scrapped from the game was the ability to purchase a variety of haircuts from the school hairdresser. It's unknown who the hairdresser would have been, but it's assumed that it might have been Mr. Luntz, as he's also the shopkeeper for the school.
Slide on in, relax.
Several of these haircuts never got very far into development. If applied to the player through mods by replacing an existing haircut, they will sometimes result in Jimmy freezing in a T-pose because these models don't have any animations. Others will have textures that are clearly unfinished, while others look closer to done, if not finished entirely. One thing you might have noticed is that Jimmy's face changes when these hairstyles are applied. This is because the hair model is not just hair, but it also contains Jimmy's facial model. The reason why it changes so drastically is because all these models from the PlayStation 2 version of Bully, where Jimmy uses a different facial model.
Your hair is slamming.
There are 2 additional variations that didn't even get their own respective textures before being scrapped. These are the brown version of the tousled hair and the secondary green version of the mohawk. Attempting to extract the textures from these empty .nft files will result in Nifscope giving you an error message.
Hey, you. Anything going on? Hey, what's new? You got nothing. You're stupid and ugly. You suck. You suck big time. You're ugly. You're a moron.
Number 3. Cut wrestling opponents.
Cut wrestling opponents. As you know, in the official release of the game, all you do in the gym classes when learning new moves is fight Fatty repeatedly.
Yeah! Please!
However, this might not have always been the case. From looking around the game's models, it can be concluded that you might have originally been meant to fight more characters as the difficulty of each class increases. We can't really know for sure what the order was meant to be, however we can speculate what the order might have been and which models it would have been based on which models are still in the game but unused. Of course you'd start out with Fatty as normal, as he is the weakest and most harmless opponent, easy for you to start your training on, and then you'd move on to Bob, an almost completely cut character who only appears briefly in the introduction cutscene for The Gym is Burning.
Cause you didn't make the team, you had to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, you bully! You're a pig! You ruined my life!
This model of Bob is wearing a wrestling outfit, and for that reason it is believed he could have had a role in wrestling, and therefore could have been a harder opponent in the gym wrestling classes. After defeating Bob, you might find yourself up against Luis Luna, the largest and toughest opponent.
You're gonna wish you weren't born!
This is speculated because Luis has a wrestling outfit and is one of the bigger jocks, so it's likely that he could be the last stage of your training. It might have also been possible that you were meant to fight against Bo Jackson, as he does have a wrestling character model, however it is only used in that same mission, The Gym is Burning. The only time this model is used is in the cutscene, and he also only has a cutscene model, meaning you can't make him spawn in free roam like you can other pets by editing the default IDE. Although he might have only had this costume for the cutscene, it could have also played a role into the gym minigame, possibly replacing one of the other opponents we speculated.
Number 4. Faction-based dialogue.
Yo, Jimmy, I'm over here. Give me 5, dude.
No.
Both faction and clique affiliation played a bit of a larger role throughout the casual conversations that Jimmy could strike up with his fellow Bullworth residents. If Jimmy was to greet a jock, then he would occasionally make some kind of mention or reference to the jock being part of that particular clique. Or he would mention a common or stereotypical attribute that a lot of jocks are known for, either via insult or simple greeting. The same would apply to any other clique, be it bullies, nerds, jocks, preps, townies, or greasers. Jimmy would also have specific greetings based on not only gender, clique, or occupation, but also on species, as Jimmy actually has greetings and insults for any pitbulls that he may come across.
How's it going, dog? Come on, boy. Sup, dog? You mangy mutt! Get out of here, bitch! Somebody should send you to the pound!
It is unclear why so many of these lines were cut, as a lot of them are really clever, but it's possible that Rockstar decided to scrap all of these as they kind of give the player an incentive to continuously and mercilessly pick on people via social insults. English Class 4 for the fucking win! It is also a possibility that Rockstar felt like this detail was so pointless to even implement fully in the first place, due to the massive amount of insults Jimmy already has at his disposal. Number 5. Jimmy's original voice actor.
In the recent Q&A with Jerry Rosenthal, he revealed a lot of trivia about the game that no one in the fanbase really knew about prior to the interview. One of the most surprising facts that Jerry revealed was that Bully had a different voice actor for Jimmy.
The Debonator asks, what process took place when you were acting out Jimmy Hopkins? For example, maybe other than doing voice work, awesome job by the way, thank you Debonator. Did you have to wear one of those motion capture suits that are used for in-game character movements? Great question. So I got hired after the fact. They'd already hired a guy. I wasn't the first one hired. They hired a guy to do the motion capture, and then I don't know what happened. They didn't think his voice was right for the game, I guess. But they hired me after he'd already done all the motion capture, which was a bummer because that was one of the first things I asked. I was really looking forward to doing that.
It remains unknown just who this guy is, but it's possible that this is what he sounded like.
You guys want to give me some time to settle in and get unpacked?
The following audio was taken from the audio file called Boys Dorm Room 04 from the game's files. It consists of chopped up and awkwardly thrown together version of what appears to be a scrapped cutscene. Judging from some of the dialogue, it appears to be the original version for the ending of Welcome to Bullworth, where Jimmy first meets Pete Kowalski and Gary. If you listen closely, you'll notice that both Peter Vack, Gary's voice actor, and Matt Bush, Pete's voice actor, are both present. However, in this recording, Jimmy's voice sounds a bit different. And here is the audio file mashed up with the Pete Kowalski introduction cutscene.
Look out. Here comes Jimmy. Now that I finally hit puberty. Sorry. What's your problem? Nice, the new kid. Silly past just an inevitable journey to prison. You guys want to give me some time to settle in and get unpacked? You're not too interested in yourself, friend. Dude can't stand you already. Jimmy, but if you want to hang out, we'll be in the door downstairs.
Number 6. Money.
Money might have originally worked more like it does in GTA, where you can pick up money from defeated opponents. The reason we speculate this is because you can still find the unused dollar and cent pickup models in the game files. There's also another data file that lists how much money each pet type would drop when defeated. Prefects wouldn't drop any money, nor would the cops. Nerds, jocks, gracers, non-clicks, and bullies would drop anywhere from 0 to 100 cents. Townies would drop up to 25 cents, while townsfolk would drop up to 500 cents. Teachers would drop anywhere between 100 and 300 cents, and preps would drop anywhere from 50 to 500 cents, making them the biggest targets for robberies. Along with all that, it was also possible that if the player was knocked out, he could lose around 100 to 200 cents. Why this feature was cut is only up to speculation. However, it could be because Rockstar didn't want to encourage players to attack random pedestrians for money. It could have also been because there simply aren't many things to buy in the game, and by simply completing the normal objectives, you get enough money to buy basically whatever you want. So being able to pick up money like this just wasn't a feature that they thought was necessary.
Number 7. Stomping. As many of you may already know, Bully was initially set to be a much more gruesome and vulgar game with a heavy focus on more controversial issues, such as sex, street gangs, law insubordination, violence, and so on. One of the many features that ended up getting completely scrapped was the ability to stomp on your fallen foes. Let's say you were fighting Algernon and you somehow managed to get him to fall onto the ground, either by knocking him out or by doing a leg sweep motion. You would then be able to stomp on him, similar to, if not just like the way you would in GTA San Andreas. There are several pieces of unused voice lines to support this theory. Similar to the removed money pickups mentioned by the boss, it is possible that this feature was cut from the game as it was either too violent to feature in a T-rated game, or simply just because it's a fighting mechanic that was too awkward or out of place to feature in the game. One thing is for certain though, and that is that stomping on children's faces probably would not have done Bully much good with the influx of wild aspersions thrown Rockstar's way by violence and gaming detractors such as Jack Thompson. In fact, it probably would have exacerbated everything and just gotten the game banned. But then again, stomping on Sheldon's face would have been so satisfying. Number 8. Happy Vault's Asylum Inmates.
Happy Vaults wasn't always so void of people. Up until some point in development, Rockstar had plans on including asylum patients that would be interacted with in free mode. Some of the asylum inmates' dialogue can still be found in the game files.
Man, I've been here for 12 years! I wonder if anyone forgot about me!
It's the monkey dance! It's the monkey dance! It's the wonderful monkey dance!
Why did I do it? Why?
This place is possessed by ghosts. I know it. Nasty ghosts.
15 years in development, and I end up in the madhouse! I guess I should count myself lucky!
No, 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 no!
Some of these audio files would later be used for the asylum ambience. There's also several characters that were initially meant to play the role that Otto had during the mission Galloway Away. The role was initially written for Mr. Ramirez. It was then given to Fenwick but was eventually assigned to Otto. It's possible that the asylum played a much bigger role in the game, but Rockstar decided to scrap that, as it might have taken away too much focus from the schoolyard antics of Chapter 1 and Chapter 4.
And finally, number 9. Darts Minigame.
The darts minigame. Remember that cutscene where Jimmy and Pete throw darts at Dr. Crabblesnitch's picture? That might have actually been a minigame that you could play. There are no scripts in the game files demonstrating this. However, by looking in the game's executable, you can find that there are a few dart functions that could have been used for the darts minigame. If you check these functions in a script, you can see that they're valid, but the minigame still hasn't been recreated. However, the functions still are here and do exist, telling us that the darts minigame very well could have been a reality. Why Rockstar cut this later is unknown. It could have been from time, or they simply might have not thought it was worth the effort. If you're a GTA fan, you do know that Rockstar later visited this in both GTA 4 and GTA 5, but they just didn't think it was right for Bully.
That's it for this video. Before I leave, I want to not only thank you guys for still watching my content, but I also want to direct you to check out both Nathan and the boss's channels. Click the annotations on the screen or the links in the description below to check those channels out. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. You folks have a good one. Peace.
We kicked them in the balls! Come on, Jimmy, let's go see how good you are with this new slingshot I heard you had. Don't worry, friend. Nothing escapes my notice. I hear everything. You and me, we can do things.